Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem. My name is Joan Lippis, or hashtag Joni in Jerusalem, welcoming you to a new week of Lunchtime Prayer for Israel. Lunchtime Prayer for Israel, as you know, is not only in this form, the video form, but also in text form, which you can subscribe to, and you can see the information at the end of the video. Lunchtime Prayer for Israel is doing a series that we call End Times, because as we look around our world today, it's chaotic. And I am afraid, because of what this wonderful book says, it's not going to get any better. But as always, God has a way of escape. And so we're in part one, which is called the preface, because the preface is building up to what the Bible calls the 70th week of Daniel. And that's when the real trouble begins in the tribulation. But then there's part three, which is the Messianic kingdom. Hallelujah. But then the end comes, the New Jerusalem, when everything is back to right. So, but we're only in part one. That's where we're going. And the title for today is The Beginning of Sorrows. Now, Yeshua's warning that these were only the beginning of sorrows probably struck terror in the hearts of the apostles. All they wanted to know is, Yeshua, you've just talked about all the stones of the temple falling down. That's pretty bad. But now you're saying it's only the beginning of sorrows? Well, if they were terrorized, so much more should we be, because we're that much closer. Okay? Now, the word translated here as sorrows, the beginning of sorrows, can be described as intolerable anguish, consuming grief, pain, and even travail, as in giving birth. In other words, what Yeshua was saying when he used this word is there's much worse to come. Now, the apostles Matthew and Mark asked the question pretty much in the same way. Matthew 24, verse 8 said, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. That's the way he heard Yeshua say. Mark heard him say, these are the beginning of sorrows. Now, let's look at this word before we go on to see what Luke has to say in all of this. So let's turn to Psalm 18, verses 5 and 6. The sorrows of Sheol surrounded me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and my cry came out to my God. He heard my voice from the temple, and my cry came before him, even to his ears. Well, that's the good news. God hears our cries. That's why we should not be afraid. He will hear our cries. He comes to save us. We don't even have to go through the tribulation. I'm one of those people who thinks we can get out of here before the tribulation even starts. But I'm jumping ahead. But the point is that God gives us a way of escape. How? Because of his grace, through faith in Yeshua Messiah. So now we're reading from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 2 and 3. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, there's sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. Now, we're going to talk about the text, the context of this later on, but the point is I wanted you to see how the Bible uses the word sorrows, both Hebrew and Greek. So you see, this is the good news. God always gives us a way to escape. The important thing is that you be given the chance, starting by understanding what this says. So, please pray that the whole gospel, the whole Bible, will be shared, will be taught, will be proclaimed from the rooftops so that everybody has a chance to hear and make their own decision what to do. So pray as the Spirit leads, as I say, Lehitraot, Shalom from Jerusalem.